There, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel and welcome to a some assemblage required video, which means I'm going to be using some products from the shop, and I'm combining it with Stitches and Stencils and Series 12 of Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches. The sketch we are using today is from Jen Miller, and it is for day 24. In case you're wondering what Stitches and Stencils is, it is a series that MK over at Some Assemblage Required and Sandie over at State Goddess and I are doing together the fourth Saturday of the month. We are making it a point to do some stitching and some stenciling on our layouts. It doesn't have to be really intricate. It doesn't have to be hand stitching. It can be any kind of stitching you want. And I just took mine over to my sewing machine and stitched three go-arounds on the pencil marks that I made using that plate. So I'm liking how that looks, but when I first brought it back to my desk, it kind of looked like a baseball, and so I was really glad that I had stitched it to this other paper that I decided that I wanted to show up in the corners, kind of taking the inspiration of those pattern papers that Jen has in the corners of her sketch, although I'm not doing strips of paper. I'm just pulling my threads through to the back and securing them with a little bit of washi tape, and I'm pretty happy with the way that looks. That paper in the background is a really old October afternoon from, I think it was called like something cider. Can't remember. I'm sure somebody will know and leave me a note down below. But anyway, it's old, and I don't know that you can't get it anymore unless somebody's got it in a store stocked away somewhere, because it is been out of print and October afternoon has been gone for a long time. So anyway, I'm doing a little bit of stenciling with my chipped sapphire distress oxide ink. I used a stencil from Dusty Attic, and it looks like a ledger, but to me it kind of also reminded me of a bill that you get when you go out to eat at a diner. And then I'm using a mini sketch grid, I think is what it's called. I don't know. I'll put the names down below so that you can look those up, or if there's links, I'll put those available down there for you as well. I'm using some turquoise and some night media gloss spray from Dina Wakley, and I used some mustard seed distress oxide spray, and I just sprinkled those across to kind of bring those colors into the center rather than just in the two corners. Now I'm also using a little bit of, I think this is Scattered Straw actually, Scattered Straw Distress Oxide ink over this Cutfile. This is a little bit of a sneak peek because this Cutfile is from Some Assemblage Required, and it will be available in July. And this is not all of it. I actually did a little bit of Frankensteining and cut a portion of it off. So if you are someone who likes sweet things, you're going to want to go and check out the Cutfiles in July. And I really like the way that it looks. I also cut it with an outline. An offset is what it's called in the Silhouette Studio. I don't know what Cricut calls it, but I cut it with an offset so that I would be able to put a border around it. And I am using my Distress Oxide in chipped sapphire again, and I'm just rubbing it on the outsides of these three little pieces of paper that I'm going to back my photos with, because I want to get a darker border. And then I'm going to spray the Distress Oxide that is sitting on my desk, and I'm just going to dip the offset portion of the Cutfile, so it's the larger portion, and I'm dipping it into the Distress Oxide there to change the color to blue, so that when I put the two together, there's a blue outline around the yellow portion. I am also going to sprinkle a little bit of water right over the piece here with the yellow to give it kind of a mottled effect, and I really like that, kind of distressing it and making it have a little texture to it. Now, you also don't see all of the Cutfile with the blue. There's a little extra at the end, but that is not all of it. So you're going to have to wait until July and go and check it out when it's up on the shop over at MK's store, Some Assemblage Required. So I can't put a link for that one down below yet. You'll have to wait for the reveal. But I am using some wood veneer products from her shop, and it is a baking set. It's the one by my left hand, I don't end up using the two at the top of the screen. Those are older sets. And I just end up going with the baking set because it really had everything that I needed in it. And I really like the way that this comes out. So I am going to pop my title up onto some foam to give it some dimension. And then I'm going to tuck the beater portion of a mixer underneath that T. So it looks like it's kind of hanging off of the T. And then I'm also going to tuck the tray underneath the beginning of the title. The biggest thing that I have to tell you about the wood veneer, aside from the fact that it's awesome and it's thin, and that you can alter it and paint it and all that kind of stuff, it has a masking over the top of it. And you have to take that masking off. And I always forget. So that's why I'm telling you, because I always forget. I'm going to get it all on here and then go, oh yeah, I need to take the masking off. So you're going to see me do that. But it does protect the wood. It also, it's great if you're going to like do some painting of a portion of it and you want to mask off the other portion so you don't want it to get the color on it. It doesn't work great with watercolor because the watercolor does go through, but with acrylic paint it should work fine. So I'm really happy with the way that that turned out. Pardon me. I am also taking a couple of stamps here. The one that's on my acrylic block is from Elizabeth Craft Designs, and I'm going to stamp that, and then I'm also going to use the round portion of this Chamel stamp over off the right hand side, and that one's super old, also not available. The Elizabeth Craft Designs one might be available, so I'll put the link for that down below. The colors that I'm using is are Bay Breeze and geez, I can't remember even what I used for this one. Dress Blues. It's so nice that the word is so big on the top of the ink pad, so I don't have to try to remember. Anyway, I am going to use this one, but I'm going to use it upside down. I'm only wanting the portion with the 3 horizontal lines. I don't care about the part that says noted because now it's upside down. And I really like the way that this ends up looking. It gives me a little place for journaling. In case you're wondering, the photos are of the older of the 2 girls that I take care of. And this was during COVID. And we did a lot of baking because we didn't have a lot of activities that we could go to. So we did a lot of baking and we were making scones. And I know those are cookies on the cookie tray there, but they also kind of could be scones, like if you did drop scones rather than the kind that you make into a big circle and you cut into triangles. And so I just went with it, and I really like the way that it came out, and I really like that it's all tucked in and the title is part of the embellishment cluster. I do want to remind you to go and check out Sandie's channel and MK's channel to see what they've done for stitches and stencils today. I also want to remind you to go and check out the playlist down below for everyone who's playing along with Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches, and you can see all of the inspiration that has been released so far. So here I am also putting a little bit of foam underneath the handles of these measuring cups because I want them to kind of overlap the rolling pin that's up at the top, and with the handle hanging off, it wants to pop off of the rolling pin, so I give it a little bit of support. And here's where you see I forgot to take the masking off. So luckily everything just peeled right off, and I was able to just stick those cookies or scones right back on the sheet there, and I'm able to just go ahead and peel off the rest of the masking off of all of the other pieces before I get too far down the road. I think the only piece I did not end up using is this scoop, which I know if I was doing cookies, I would totally use that scoop because that's how I scoop my cookies as well. But because it's scones, I decided not to use the scoop. I'm going to actually stick it in with those other kitchen utensils that you see at the top of my screen and use it on a different layout down the road. So here's the 2 colors of Catherine Pooler ink I used. Here are the 2 Distress Oxides. And that is my layout, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. I will put a link down below for all of those baking, that baking set for you, so you can check that out. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would love a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel as well. So please consider that and hit the bell for notifications if you are subscribed. Thanks again for spending time with me today, and I'll see you guys again soon. Hopefully when my voice is a little bit better. Bye.